Hi there. Welcome to our Elville webinar series today. My name is Jeff Stauffer. I'm the Community Relations Director with Elville and Associates. I also am the Director of our charity here at the firm, the Elville Center for the Creative Arts. And our topic for today is to learn all you need to know about Elville and Associates Client Care Program. And just by chance, I am the Director of the Client Care Program here at the firm. Been that way for the last couple of years or so. Have worked with the Client Care Program for many years before then, though, but not in an official capacity. So welcome, everybody. A few housekeeping items. I'm sure most of you have been on presentations with me and others before. Always welcome your questions, and we'll pause to address those throughout. Also, the slides are available. I sent them out to you yesterday. They're also available in the section marked handouts to download at this time. And we also always send out a post-webinar feedback message right after the presentation. Let me know how I did. We've been doing these presentations about the CCP or Client Care Program for about 7 months. This is our third one, and we're going to continue to do these on a recurring basis. So if you have an idea for the presentation or another presentation that you'd like to hear about from one of our attorneys or a guest presenter, please let us know. We're always interested in your feedback. So here's what we're going to cover today. Let's go to the next slide here. What exactly is the Client Care Program, and what is its history? And is the Client Care Program the right fit for my family and me? So after learning about this, and everybody's situation is a little bit different, is the Client Care Program a good investment, and a good investment in time and your money to be involved in with Elville and Associates? We're going to give an overview of benefits included in the Client Care Program and its membership. Also, simple steps about how to become a member. It's really easy. And then we'll certainly address any final questions and answers. Just a bit about me real briefly. For those of you that don't know me, I see some familiar faces on our webinar today. Thank you so much for our current members for jumping in and wanting to get a refresher about all the benefits. I am Jeff Stauffer. I've been with Elville and Associates for about 12 years at this point. I went to the University of Maryland College Park, and I studied journalism and public relations and sociology. And after that, I got into the golf business, which is something I always wanted to do. And I became an accredited golf club fitter. I taught lessons. I passed my playing ability test to get into the PGA development program. Realized I didn't want to be in golf my whole life. After all that, it took me 15 tries to pass my playing ability test. So I stuck with it, but decided that I wanted to go a different direction. So I started to work for BB&T, Branch Banking and Trust, which is now Truist, and I was a financial center leader there for 12 years, and really enjoyed my time there. Met a lot of great people that are actually now clients of Elville and Associates. That's where I met Steve about 20 some years ago, and I was his banking relationship manager at BB&T. And when I was looking to do something a little bit different that was more in line with my background, after all those years, I talked to Steve, and he said he was looking for somebody just like me to help with the firm. And so that was 12 years ago, and it's been a great decision and a great experience over all that time. So that's a little bit about me. We'll dive into what exactly is the Client Care Program. So the program is the highest, the way I like to think of it, the highest and most ideal form of partnership between Elville and Associates, your family, your fiduciaries, and you. So good estate planning, as Steve always says, takes partnership, and that goes both ways. It starts with Elville and Associates being a good partner and advisor to you, ensuring that your planning is correct and it keeps up with changes in the law and changes in your life. And it's also a commitment from you, the client, wanting to see the process through initially and maintain your plan and have your family be aware of what your planning reflects and how they're involved in it, as well as your financial advisors, which I'll get into a little bit more later. We always love to have that partnership with our clients' financial advisors, because your estate planning shouldn't be really out on an island. It should be very woven into your overall financial plan for the well-being of yourself and your family and those that you're going to pass your legacy down to. So as I've just mentioned, it ensures that your planning remains updated yearly with changes in your goals. We all have goals, of course, that we want to achieve. Sometimes those goals change. But if you're just getting started with your planning as well, if you don't know what your goal is or what your higher purpose is, then we can help you form that and make sure that your planning stays aligned with your changing goals over time and changes in your life as well. Things changing a lot these days, so of course. That involves changes in the law as well. So we want to make sure that all of our clients, but especially our client care program members, are very vested with the firm, just like we're vested with them, and ensure that that planning that you've invested so much time and effort and love into is going to work as intended, hopefully many years from now, when it needs to be used and put into play. Included in the client care program is 2 hours of attorney time yearly to speak to an Elville and Associates attorney, and we'll jump into that a little bit more when I talk about the benefits. But this is really a valuable benefit that comes with the client care program membership on a yearly basis. And if you think about attorneys' hourly rates, which are up there a bit, and rightly so for the legal counsel they provide, that 2 hours that comes with your membership each year to sit down with your attorney and discuss various things is invaluable, I would say. Let's go to the next slide. So a little bit about the history of the client care program, or CCP as some people call it. So it's been around since 2016, so we're getting up on 10 years at this point. So Stephen Elville and the attorneys and several staff members of the firm traveled to Boston. There was a 3-day workshop up there at the Client Care Academy run by a gentleman named Vinny Bonazzoli, who runs a successful practice up there. And they went there to fully understand what it means to develop an outstanding client care program. And it's interesting that Vinny's law firm, which does similar things to what we do here at Elville and Associates, a requirement of clients to become clients of Vinny's law firm is that you enroll in his client care program. So that's not the way we decided to approach it. We wanted to make it optional for those people that wanted to really take the next step with their planning and stay engaged on a proactive basis with the firm on a yearly basis. So when they were there, I didn't go, unfortunately. I wasn't as involved as I am now. They learned, I like to say, what is our why? Why have this program, and why put the effort and the investment into it? And their answer was, we want to take care of individuals and families in a relationship-driven program. So the firm will be there when it matters to most to our clients. So as I mentioned, a lot of our client care program members are some of our most vested clients in the firm. They believe in how we take care of clients. They believe in a process to achieve your planning goals. And like I said, it's a two-way partnership that goes both ways. And currently the firm is one of only 2 in Maryland to have an accredited client care program through the Client Care Academy. The other one is Gary Greenwald and the law offices of Gary Greenwald. He has space here in our headquarters here in Columbia. Right next to me are his 3 offices. So he also believes in the client care program initiative as well, very much. Let's see if there's any questions as we get started here. Okay, no direct questions just yet. There's a lot of benefits that come with the client care program. Just a summary of them include an annual review of your asset alignment to ensure that your assets continue to be properly funded and aligned with your estate plan. So we have Rebecca Timonen, who is our funding and asset alignment coordinator. She will work through a pretty detailed spreadsheet to make sure it stays updated and ensures that your assets, which certainly will change over time, are properly titled and aligned with your estate plan. So hopefully many years from now, when assets need to be passed down, they'll go to the right people, and you can ideally avoid probate if that is one of your goals. Also, asset alignment, there is typically a fee for that when clients sign up for it. And that fee is waived if new clients become client care program members when initially retaining the firm. We also offer family care meetings as part of client care program membership, and this is something that a lot of people really value. So it's obviously important for you to understand your estate plan and how it works, but you have many people that are intimately involved in your estate planning, your agents, your personal representative, other fiduciaries and trustees, your financial advisor. We welcome all of those people that are involved in some way in your estate plan to sit down with Steve or another attorney here of your choosing, review your estate plan with everybody so they understand their role with your estate plan. So if somebody needs to act as an agent through your powers of attorney or your advance directive, or you pass away and the personal representative needs to take charge of the situation thereafter, it won't come as a surprise to them, and they'll understand what their roles are and how they are involved in your estate planning. This is a new benefit, the next one, that we just rolled out about a month ago. Many of you are probably familiar with Dr. Michelle Fritsch, who is a dear friend to our firm through her work with Propel Comprehensive Wellness. She's done many wellness series webinars. We're having another one at the end of June with Dr. Fritsch. She's spoken at one of our client care program events several months ago. So client care program members will receive a discounted membership to Propel, which is, if you don't know, it's a program that is designed to help those people that are at retirement or are in retirement to stay on top of their social, mental, physical, and spiritual health. So Dr. Fritsch has seen a lot of people that may have been in leadership positions, or they've, work has been a big part of their identity over countless years. And when they retire, they have some negative outcomes in situations. What do I do with my time? My friends and family or my friends and my coworkers are different. I am spending more time at home, and there's just a kind of detachedness that comes with that a lot of people are not aware of and they don't address. And Michelle can help you with that. So the first month through client care program membership is free, and then it's a 25% discount for a subscription to that thereafter. So we're really proud to offer that through the client care program. Also, as I alluded to, access to attorneys and staff to update your documents on a yearly basis. So of all the benefits that we discuss, a lot of members think of this benefit first. It's very important. So we offer 2 hours of attorney time each year to speak with Steve or another attorney of your choosing to update your estate plan for changes in your life. Wanting to change trustees, beneficiaries, updates to your powers of attorney, healthcare agents. If anything, it's at least a way, and you feel like, well, none of this has changed. Well, it's a great way to sit down with your attorney for a couple hours and talk about what's going on in your life, if things have shifted, if everything is status quo, if there's changes in the law that might need to be addressed through your estate plan and the goals in there. It's a great way to sit down and everybody stays on the same page each year. It's a wonderful way to do that. So 2 hours are included annually. The 2 hours do not roll over to subsequent years. So unfortunately, can't say, well, I'm good this year. I'm going to roll my 2 hours into next year, and then you've got 4, and next thing you know, you have 8. That's unfortunate the way it works. Have to use those 2 hours of attorney time each year, or else it's kind of a use it or lose it, to put it bluntly. But most people do take advantage of it, and we encourage people and members throughout the year to set those review meetings. Steve is currently booking clients for around the end of July right now. So one thing I like to encourage members continually is make sure you set your review meeting early in the year. So we always have several members, it's November 30th, and they're thinking, oh my goodness, I need to have my review meeting with Steve or another attorney. And Steve is then booked out through January. So say this again and just encourage people to set those review meetings on throughout the year. If you're a member on here right now and you haven't done it yet, make that next call after this webinar, a call to our firm to make sure that your review meeting is set. Also, if there is additional work that needs to be done on your estate plan to update it, anything that we just talked about, the time for paralegals that do a lot of the work here on our clients planning directed by the attorneys, that is not included in CCP membership, and it could be billed, it is billed at normal hourly rates. We also offer continuing legal education workshops. So this is also very popular. We offer quarterly workshops that are in person, typically at Anne Arundel Community College's Arnold campus, the John Cade Center for Fine Arts, really nice venue. They are educational workshops open to you, your family members, anybody that you would like to bring, family, your financial advisors. We discuss a lot of different topics. We've been doing them pretty much since the client care program's inception, discussing topics that are relevant to your family and you. I'm going to go through a list of some of our previous topics that might give you some more of an idea of what we've offered through those educational workshops. And it's always great to see people in person, isn't it? Webinars are great, but being able to sit down and see all the attorneys and staff here at the firm and see your fellow members is always a wonderful thing. So a great way to get together. If you're not really interested in having a quote unquote annual update, maybe you want to skip a year, and that's certainly fine. The 2 hours of attorney time can be used for other things, such as if you have a divorce or a remarriage or a change in your family life and you need to discuss that. If you need to discuss irrevocable trust planning, and there's hundreds of different irrevocable trusts, life insurance trusts, charitable remainder trusts, what have you. Always have to say I'm not an attorney. I never have been and probably never will be. So Steve, your other attorneys here can discuss different options for you as it relates to more advanced planning and additions to your planning. Business planning as well. If you have partnerships or LLCs that you're interested in forming, 2 hours can also be used for those purposes, and many others. We just had a member come in and talk about a guardianship matter that they had for their family, and that was included in the 2 hours of attorney time. So we have a network of attorneys and advisors that we can refer you to if you have a interest in financial planning, or maybe you're not satisfied with your current financial advisor, or you need a business attorney or a malpractice attorney, what have you. We know here at the firm hundreds of different attorneys and advisors that can be resources to you. We don't have any direct arrangement with them. We don't get compensated for referring clients to anybody. We just know it's the right thing to do and want to get you in front of the people that can really take care of you based on what your situation is. We always, like I said, we want to collaborate with your financial advisors, accountants, CPAs, insurance professionals to make sure that your estate plan is integrated with the rest of your financial plan. And we always talk about financial planning here at the firm. We're not financial planners, but we know a lot. And having that financial plan in place is so important. So you can ensure that you're going to live comfortably throughout your entire life. Your estate plan should obviously be integrated with your financial plan and vice versa. So they should be living, breathing documents that evolve with you, your family, your life, and any changes that you have over time. A few more benefits. We offer discounts on preparation of deeds, which is something that we can do here at the firm. Enrollment in DocuBank. DocuBank is a great tool. The best way I can describe it, it's a document retrieval service that allows, if you were to end up in a hospital, God forbid, with a membership card and access, the hospital could immediately pull up your advanced medical directive and have it in front of them. So in an emergency situation, the last thing you want to do is be scrambling around trying to find your documents or your agents trying to find your documents. This DocuBank card and membership will resolve that for you. DocuBank Safe, which is another new piece of DocuBank, is also a way you can store your documents, not just your legal documents, but your any financial planning documents or contact information that you want to include. This is kind of like a portal with DocuBank that you can keep everything that you like in one safe, DocuBank safe place. We also offer enrollment in, and the firm also pays for DocuBank, of course. We also pay for your enrollment in Everplans. So Everplans is a very state-of-the-art secure digital archive that you can store everything that is important to you, contacts, financial documents, mortgage information, all of your estate planning documents. There's hundreds of different options that you can use, and everything is categorized to store in this very secure digital archive. So it's a little bit different than DocuBank in that it's not an emergency retrieval service. I would consider DocuBank more of a advanced directive retrieval service. It does have the safe option, which is nice, but Everplans is a little bit more concrete and easy to categorize things in your life that you would want to store in one place. You can also assign people to edit your Everplan. You can also assign people to be a deputy. So if something were to happen to you and you needed somebody to access your Everplans and your personal information quickly, you can assign a deputy that would be able to access your information in certain circumstances. So each year we also offer a social event through the client care program, which is really a fun time. I've been to most of them over the years. We have gone to several Orioles games, a couple of them over the past couple of years. We're 2-0, thank goodness. We have wonderful seats there. Not sure if we'd be winning this year's game, but we've gotten better. The Orioles, I think they've won 5 in a row. We're not going to go back to the Orioles this year, though. We're going to take a little break from that. We've gone to Toby's Dinner Theater and seen some great shows. We've taken trips to wineries, including Boxwood Winery down in Middlesburg, Virginia. Wonderful experience. In November, we are headed to the historic Olney Theater, and we're going to see Hello Dolly there. So don't have a specific date for that just yet, because Hello Dolly is a new event at the Olney Theater, and tickets are available in June. So I'll make sure that we get those taken care of, and we'll have a specific set date for y'all real soon. The educational programs that I alluded to on a quarterly basis, we have very high-level presenters from around the country sometimes coming in to present for our CCP's quarterly events. So Steve and Gary typically have a part in that. They present during each event. But just to give you an idea of some of the things that we've offered and topics over the years, we've had an aging life care manager, Ellen Platt, who some of you may know, talking about navigating longevity. We've had a gentleman, Kurt Zarnowski from Massachusetts, come and talk about Social Security planning. James Eaton, who is a principal with the SC&H group here in Columbia, talking about the Tax Act, Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, when that originally was enacted. A lot of discussion about year-end planning over the years, including with Mr. Greg Will, who's with Bestgate Wealth. We had a trustee boot camp, which was really well received from Mr. Dave Foles, who is down in Dallas, Texas. Recently, Alex Seleznev, who was a presenter at our annual client event last year, also came to present about 529 college savings plans and further strategies to plan for college. And I'm right in the middle of that, having my son recently graduated from high school just a few days ago. So that was something I was listening very intently to. We also had a really fun event, an Antiques Roadshow. Think about the shows you see on TV with Todd Peenstra, who's an owner and appraiser with Peenstra Antique Appraisals. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute, but it was a really fun time. We had our members bring items from their past that they thought might have some value above that intrinsic value that some things have. And Todd was able to do some analysis after members shared their stories about the background of each object. And some things were valued at $10. Other things like this diamond and ruby encrusted cigarette case from about 50 or 60 years ago that was about $25,000, and the person that was sharing that was shocked to learn how valuable something like that was. So Todd's very valuable and did a great job with that. We had a lot of fun. And starting on June 14th, that's going to be our next client care program quarterly event, and we're going to have a market and planning outlook with Mr. Ben Proctor, who is a certified financial planner and vice president at Morgan Stanley. Ben is somebody that's very important to us here at the firm, extremely knowledgeable, and so he's going to come and talk about that, along with Steve and Gary, talking about a legislative update for all the many changes on both the state and federal levels that could be coming down the road later this year. So that's just a brief rundown of some of the really nice events that we've offered to members and their families over the years. Not going to read this whole thing, but something to talk about for just a second. So we try to make our quarterly events very impactful for our clients and members. This is a nice testimonial that didn't ask for it, but one of our wonderful members that's been a client of ours since almost the inception of the firm wrote telling us about the impact of the event with Todd Peenstra. So it was a lot of fun. She invited Todd to their home for their own version of the Antiques Roadshow, and they had lots of different things there in their house that had been collected and passed along. So they wanted to make things easy for their kids, instead of their kids, when they pass many years from now, saying, oh my goodness, what am I supposed to do with these dozens of things that are in mom and dad's house, which probably were very valuable things, but in some ways also kind of clutter that was cluttering things up. So she says once Todd had given us a surprising assessment of the value of our things, they followed up with a buyer that Todd recommended to get a price, and long story short, they were able to turn what looked like clutter and could have been, something that their kids and other family members didn't want to deal with during a challenging time in the future. They were able to turn them into, money at this time and be able to pass it along right now to their family. So one way to really see the benefit of the client care program in our presentations. So she says, thanks for a great client care program event that continues to educate and reward us. And that's just a great way to put it. And we want to make all those events feel just that way to our members. Our annual client event. This is near and dear to me since I run the event each year, and it has grown in scope. Now, certainly you do not have to be a client care program member to attend our annual events, which we open up to all of our clients, our community members, our financial advisors, but most of our client care program members do attend our social events. And going back to 2013, when we had 50 people in a small room at Linden Hall in Ellicott City, to now, where we have an entire ballroom at capacity of 300 attendees at Ten Oaks Ballroom in Clarksville. It has grown in scope over the years, which is wonderful to see. So just some of our client event themes over the years. I'm not going to go through all these, ranging from healthcare decision making to Medicare concepts to special needs planning to elder law. And on October 18th, our next event is going to be taking place, and we're going to be talking about, and this is first time made public, so pretty big deal, the evolution of estate planning in a changing world. And we have several outstanding guest presenters along with Steve and Gary who will be presenting. We'll have live music, nice food buffet offered by Putting on the Ritz Catering. I typically talk about our charity, the Elville Center, for a few minutes at the beginning. And it's really a fun and enjoyable and educational experience for everyone that attends. And I hope you'll consider joining us. I will have invitations out for the October 18th event by July 1st. So be on the lookout for those invitations. It will reach capacity. So I encourage you and anybody that wants to attend in your family, friends, financial advisors that you know, to RSVP early. Our upcoming events for our client care program on a quarterly basis. In March, we did have our first event. We learned that we had to have our events a little bit later in the first quarter because last year in 2024, we had our first quarter event snowed out 2 times. So we said, this year we're doing March, and we had a nice day for it. Next week, we're going to have our second quarter event, which I talked about with Ben Proctor. October 18th is our annual event. In November is going to be our annual social event, our visit to the Olney Theater. And then December 13th will be our fourth quarter education event, topic to be discussed at a later time. But considering all the changes that are going on in the world in many different ways, there'll be a lot to talk about for our end of year event for sure. So membership, we always like to give a path forward, as Steve always likes to say, and I find myself saying that phrase over and over again. And every time I do, I think about Steve. The client care program is planning that works, and that's what we always want to make one of the ideals here at Elville and Associates, is to make sure that your planning works as intended, both now and in the future. And the client care program is a great way to achieve that goal. Cost to it, not much in life is free, right? At $8.95 a year, which is very reasonable. If you take all the benefits and add them up together, it's about a $3,000 value, give or take a dollar or two. But we do also prorate the membership on a quarterly basis. So for first-time members, let's say if you're joining us, if you join the client care program on June 1st, then since we're in the second quarter, we'll discount the first year's cost by 25%. If you join in August, we're in the third quarter, so we'll discount it by half for that first year. Memberships are renewed each year in November. You proactively receive a request to renew and an invoice, easy to pay online here at the firm. And we have a very high retention rate, so the program continues to grow. Most people see the great value that comes with being a member. Enrollment is really quick and really easy. I send agreements to you to be signed on your smartphone or your computer. You can review it. It discusses a lot of things that we discussed today, and you sign it. Steve countersigns it, and that gets the wheels in motion. And we'll get Everplan just right off the bat. We'll get Everplans and DocuBank signed up. We'll invite you to our quarterly events. Gives you the option to set a time for your annual updates. So we'll be off and running once you get enrolled. So that's everything right there. In a nutshell, I really appreciate your interest in the client care program. Really value you being a client of Elville and Associates. If there's any thing I can answer for you, even if it's not client care program associated, then please reach out to me. I always want to be a resource for our members and clients in general. I'm not an attorney. I don't do a whole lot with billing, but I've got my pulse on most everything here at the firm. So anything that you need, you can always please consider me a resource here for you at Elville and Associates. Or if you want to talk further about our charity, Elville Center for the Creative Arts, I never get tired of talking about all the good things that our charity is doing for those in need and our communities that we serve. Let's see if there's any final questions. The first time we did this, we didn't have any questions. Then the last time we had a dozen questions, which was wonderful. So let's see if we have any today. Okay, so we have an attendee that says, could the annual hours be used toward documents needed to care for aging parents? For example, advanced directive, medical powers of attorney, etc. That's a good question, and nobody's asked me that question before. I would say that if it's a new matter and you are a client associated with the matter, then it could count towards that. That's my first impression. If you're Mrs. Jones and your parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, are independent clients of Elville and Associates and not associated with the client care program, that would probably say that the 2 hours of a time would not apply to them. But if you are involved with their planning and it's something that you're included in from the start or are jumping into, then I would say it probably would be. If you get to that point where you need to address that situation, reach out to me and reach out to Steve and we can discuss it further. But this is a really good question. It looks like those are our only questions for today. So our webinar series goes forward. We're going to have our wellness series on June 18th. We're going to talk about mental health in post-career situations with Dr. Fritsch. And then on June 26th, we're going to have Kelly Nelson, who's a dear friend of ours with Maryland Able, Courtney Haycoop, who is a chartered special needs consultant with Cloverleaf Wealth, and Lily Hummel, who is the principal and director of our Rockville office, which has been going great. They're all going to get together and talk about an overview of special needs trusts and ABLE accounts, how they can be used together, how they are different, and they're going to talk a lot about those two topics, as well as financial planning in general and how they all kind of come together. So we're really excited for that event and hope that you'll join us or send the link to somebody that you know that would benefit from it. So that is it for today. Please take a minute to fill out the survey that is going to come out in a few minutes. Let me know how I did, what you'd like to see done differently, or done the same next time. And if you're interested in the program and signing up for it, then there'll be an option to say, yes, I'm interested, and I can get the ball rolling. If you're a member and you have questions about furthering your use of our benefits that come with it, reach out to me and I'll be glad to be of assistance to you. So have a great day. We appreciate you being a client of Elville and Associates, and we'll talk to you again soon on the Elville webinar series. Have a great day.